Unboxing video. Hello guys, and welcome to my unboxing video of the XTZ 12.17 Edge. I think this is one of the best subwoofers under £1,000 right now, and I think it punches well above its weight, and I think perhaps you should try it. But first, watch my review of the subwoofer on my channel. This is just the unboxing video and I talk about the specifications of the subwoofer. Please forgive the mess in the video. We were in the middle of redecorating and all my new gear started arriving all at once, so we were a little bit disorganized to say the least. By the way, if you've had enough of all these biased reviews on YouTube, consider subscribing to this channel. I'm not sponsored by anyone, nor do I plan on changing my opinion just because a company sends me free stuff or pay me. I'm in this because I love it, and my focus is to provide others with honest opinions of the products I discover on this channel. XTZ did not pay me to make this video. This is my subwoofer that I bought myself because simply I wanted a new one. So here is the unboxing, and watch the review if you want my honest opinion. First thing I'll say about the XTZ, it did come with very nice packaging. Everything wasn't too heavy or awkward to take out of the box. Just make sure that you pull the box upwards, as you can see in the video, as I've noticed a lot of people try hoisting the subwoofer out of the box, which is just asking for trouble really. When unboxing the XTZ 12.17 Edge, the subwoofer felt suitably heavy and I bought it in the black lacquer finish. I knew this would be a mistake because it's harder to clean and it gets really dusty, but if you put the effort in, the subwoofer looks really sophisticated and very nice for a living room. But there's also a matte black version and a white finish if that's more suitable for you. One nice touch was that the subwoofer came with a free pair of white gloves to handle it with care and not leave any nasty marks or scratches or anything like that. I think that was a nice touch. From my experience, not many companies do that. One interesting thing about the subwoofer is that, as you can see, it is a two-ported model, and one of the great features is that both of these ports are tuned to different frequencies. So if you want more of a sealed subwoofer sound, something that sounds a bit tighter and speedier for example, but at the same time you want to really have a good bass extension like a ported, then I'd recommend you put the port plug into the right hole and you can leave the left one open, and that gives you kind of like a hybrid sound between a ported and a sealed, and I think this works very well actually. One thing I noticed was the size difference between the XTZ 12.17 Edge and the BK Monolith Plus that the XTZ is replacing. The BK is a good bit larger I think than the XTZ. They both have the same size cone, which is 12 inches, but the BK has a bigger enclosure and the port is massive. The BK's port is tuned to a very specific frequency down low. I think it's around the 20 Hz mark. So one thing I'll let you know now, just in case you watch the review or anything like that, I think that the XTZ can keep up with the Monolith in medium sized rooms like my one, but you can tell that the subwoofer is working a bit harder as the cone is really going berserk. By comparison, the Monolith is very relaxed when playing sub 30 Hz bass at a very high volume. Some of the unique specifications about this subwoofer. First of all, it has an upgraded amplifier compared to the old version. It has a 700 watt RMS ICE amplifier, which is nice, especially at this price point. It's about 690 euros, and most amplifiers within subwoofers at this price range are 500 watts or lower. Secondly, the subwoofer has parametric equalization controls, which you can put to good use if you know what you're doing and if you have the right calibration equipment. Thirdly, as mentioned earlier, you can play around with the sound by experimenting with the port plugs. You can leave them fully open, you can fully close them to make it sound more like a sealed, close one of the ports, for example on the right hand side, or you can close the one on the left hand side. Each of these options leave you with a totally different sound, which you will notice. So you can decide more or less, what you want the bass response to be like. The XTZ subwoofer also has 3 EQ modes built in. It has a standard EQ, EQ1 and EQ2, and all of these change the bass characteristics, and again I think you will notice the difference if you play around with those. I think it's a good thing that the subwoofer has all of this stuff built in, especially at the price point around 700 euros. I don't think too many other subwoofer brands are going to give you quite this level of versatility at this price point. Not at all. I think that, you know, the only thing that kind of comes close at this price point in the Europe region might be SVS, but they're still a little bit more money than the XTZ. I believe the XTZ takes M6 sized screws at the bottom, and the subwoofer comes with rubber feet, and to be honest these are a little bit small, so if someone wants something a little bit more isolated they'll have to try something else. I tried putting my SVS Sound Path isolation feet on the bottom, and the feet, the screw was too big for the XTZ's pre-drilled hole, so maybe I can get like a connector or something. If not, I guess I'll have to look at different options to isolate the subwoofer from the floor just a little bit more. So another thing guys, especially with a subwoofer like this, it has a very high excursion driver, as you can see from the videos. Make sure you break the subwoofer in before you throw any tough tracks at it. I do think that breaking in has a little bit of truth to it. I don't think it's as important as a lot of people make out. There is a little bit of hocus pocus there. I don't think you need hundreds of hours to break in your speakers. However, in the case of subwoofers, I think it's a little bit more important to do the break-in, because if you consider the size of the cones and the magnets and the components inside, it's probably a good idea to do a little bit of break-in just to warm up the parts and loosen them just a little bit. I'd say this process takes hours rather than days to do. I don't believe when people say to break it in for days. My opinion is start off with something a little bit more lightweight, like for example low frequency pink noise. That could be a good place to start. Then some hours later you can play some heavier bass lines at higher volume, something like dubstep or hip hop or something with a decent bass line, just to get the cone moving a little bit. But you don't want it moving too far back and forward, just something visible, I would say. That way at least you know you've done what you can not to abuse your subwoofer from the minute you get it. And I would say after that initial day of kind of playing around with it, then after that I think you can throw some more heavy bass lines at it. That's how I did mine anyway, and it's working fine. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing as always, and watch the review of the subwoofer if you're interested in buying it. See you in the next video.